Or no, you gone again, you stink. No, we see how it goes. No, yeah, I will have contact anyway. Yeah, hey, you too. Have a good time, and we catch us later. Huh? Yeah, boom. They decide on Friday
In the board.
in the board
On what?
on the project.
If or if not?
Yes. On Friday, he has been this morning bringing in the material from Kopponen and from Polari. And after he had been dropping in all the material, he could get one appointment, just finished. 15 minutes, he'd been speaking with Kerki and he wanted to know who is these people. So he had been telling him that we are historically and culturally oriented group of people who want to, after all this research that has been made there in Kajaani, want to now find out about result on this project, which could be made combined with the activity that the Museovirasto is now making there, so that we could finance their research of the layer of the ground in Kajaani.
He said no names or what?
And he has only been talking about this group of people. And then he been taking that in very nicely, and he said that he have all the material and he has all the information what he need, and he will present that Friday to the board of director of the Museovirasto. And in that meeting, because everything is organized, no, with Polari Kopponen, with the Norwegian archaeologist and his financial department, so he get all the thing what he need, that we anyway can go on with this project. So they will decide on Friday whether it go on or not, because he can't make the decision by himself. He has to present it to the board of director of the Museovirasto, and from there it become yes or no.
Well, I thought it was already decided.
In principle, it's already decided, but he has to go
Reconfirm.
through the meeting with the board of director of the Museovirasto.
Yeah.
In the same time, he had been blasted with some email from A. Barker from Hawaii, so he was wondering if Javanainen know who is this character. Because A. Barker has been asking him about all kind of thing what is relating to the continuing excavation of temple in Akampesa. And so after Juha has been explaining that it was the Stuart Rice who is this A. Barker, and then Kerki said, he remembered this person. And he said that he don't want to have, he was smiling and saying that he don't want to have anything to do with the excavation of temple in Akampesa. So that was very nice to hear. They don't want to be included in that part at all.
Very good.
But
So-
they are included.
But in
own
the
initiative.
by own initiative, they are anyway feel to be included in this Kajaani site, but this temple, it is not of their department.
Not yet.
No,
No,
it's
no.
one team with Paolo Puro
Maybe
there
a
also.
private affair.
I think it's quite okay. Anyway, you get it.
So Monday, they come together or what?
No, Friday.
Friday. So
But
you
Juha,
are
he
off
is
on Monday.
Friday evening, he is gone for the whole weekend. He's in Turku, he has their one program. And he said it can be difficult to have contact, so he asked if I call him on Monday, and then we can hear the result.
Yeah.
Probably you hear it already before, I don't know. We see. I phone anyway Monday to you, that we know for
He
sure.
gets the result on Friday.
Yeah, he'll probably find out on Friday, but he have no time there. He's in his casino. So he said probably by Monday everything will be completely clear. So he says better if you phone me on Monday,
Yeah.
when he come back to Helsinki.
Anyway, the likelihood is, I mean, it's nearly certain that they decide for it, because otherwise they would not have been.
No, he have all the material what he need. Pekka-Kelp has been saying by himself that this is all what he need in order to present this to the board of director, who will decide whether they can do it. That if it become accepted, then after the 20th of September we can dig up this box.
Dig him up.
So that sounds quite okay. It's just that we have to have for a few more spannende dagen.
It'd be nice to know where he really come from. But anyway, he was.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah,
okay.
positive?
Yeah, it was positive, and he was smiling a little bit, especially about this. He had been getting email from Stuart about this temple. So, but anyway, he say he can include it in the presentation in the board of director, but actually he don't feel to have anything to do with this. So it's much better to concentrate on this Kayani happening for the moment. Otherwise it become too much again.
Yeah. This is one thing which they can nicely take care by themselves.
And you are not been saying any name in that sense. You've been presenting a group of internationally, historically and culturally oriented people who is interested in this project in Kayani.
It
because
sounds
of the
like a
measurements.
strange group from Texas. Where
Yeah,
nobody knows
he
who
can
is
think
living.
what he thinks, you know. He probably, of course, know who it is, these people, but I mean, you don't have to present it in that way, and he can just put these words further on to the board of director of the Museumjurasvan. So there is no problem in that way. I think he understands it also. But we'll find out, you know. We can be, of course, surprised and get to know on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday that they don't want to do it, you know, that they say that we don't get permit to do it.
It wouldn't surprise me so much.
It's
but-
possible. It's possible.
Wow.
It's 50-50. No? But I think then if they say no, I think they make one big mistake.
What
And
then?
this must be part of the.
No, then it become one completely different movie.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even speculate.
I mean,
Let's
then
just wait till
no,
Monday.
this would be really. I mean, there is this archaeologist from Norway who's ready to go. There's the money.
Yeah, there's no
And that-
reason to refuse it because it is for them also. It's outside people who is coming to help them in to understand
We
more
pay
about
their
Kayani.
project actually.
Yeah, but so what? I mean, it's no. This is not the thing. This is not the clue. The clue is that they, by themselves, want to make restoration of Kayani. It's this thing what I already told yesterday. That if they want to make restoration of, if you want to make one restoration of one castle, you must know about the origin of the castle. If you don't know the origin of the castle, it's become very difficult to make one restoration. So, in that way, when they say by themselves that this castle is from around 1500, that is the official in the history book dated and documented existence of Kayani Castle. Now, if we are saying that there is one book buried in 1250 in the courtyard of the castle, in the deepest point of the bedrock, there is, of course, one casino coming into creation if they don't accept it. Because anyway, it will be found out whether there is this book or not. You know? If it's not now, after 5 years, after 10 years, after 100 years. So they can't really, are not, which means that if there is one book buried in the courtyard of the castle in one well at the deepest point of the bedrock, straight away you are already dating the castle back to 1250. Now they are historical people with historical responsibility for historical museum område and this kind of places. So if they can never make the restoration of the castle without to include the knowledge of that it's possible that there is one lead box which show that this castle is much older than they have in their historical records. Now you can't be so stupid if you are in one historical department working in the museum here in Finland that you throw that information in the corner and you just go on with your thick-headed stupid nonsense to just start to restore there something what is from 1517 or I don't know when it was. No? Yeah? You can't, no? It's impossible. So if they say no, then we can make one enormous casino. We can go also to the newspaper and tell them that the Museovirasto people are fooling the tax-paying people of Finland. People get very sensitive on this kind of thing. If you present it in such a form, you can also make a very different kind of story then. I mean, if you inform to the people that it's for the Museovirasto only to look there, in which way they could redate the castle to the year 1250. For that, the only thing you have to do is to dig one hole 4 meters. If you inform Finnish people that now you are being fooled by the Museovirasto, I think that they feel a little bit, and they know that we can do it.
It's not even with their own money.
It's not our interest in that way, but anyway we can do it. We can say that the Museovirasto is preventing us to dig one hole 4.5 meters, which would date the castle back to the year 1250 minimum. And that now they are just going there to restore something what has been built according to them 1500, you know, and everybody there is paying money for them to put concrete around this castle. I mean, people will flip like crazy, you know, here.
Yeah, but maybe
And they will
anyway,
flip in.
takes their chance.
They will flip in
do
Sweden
it
about
nicely.
this. Yeah, I mean, the Swedish will flip about this. The Finnish will flip about this. I mean, all the people who is included, there's the Russian is included in that, because they've been blowing it up. So, you know, they have to take that into consideration in their director of the board meeting.
Okay, we consider that we get a yes on Friday.
Yeah, it sounds logical. Unless they are playing it that way. No, then we have to make one story. Or somebody has to make. And I think we have journalists in the group who can make this kind of story, and we can for sure find one newspaper who print it here in Finland. So
We
then
all
we
think
then
about when
no,
it really happens,
that
so it doesn't happen.
of course, but I mean, yeah, that is why we have this palaver now.
Because this is anyway something which already had happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, but
In one
it
way,
was-
that the committee had some
yeah.
monies there, it had everything, the expose.
Yeah, but
the
it did not
radar
have.
scans.
We
It's a
did
different
not have.
situation
We
today.
did not have the public support. But now we can also go for the public support.
Yeah, I mean, if they would say no,
Then you go to the public, you put it out to the public, and you ask the public that what do you think?
yeah, that should be gone out through every TV and everything.
No, you can. That these other people can do. I'm not interested.
Yeah, but what should we think about what could happen if, like, I mean, it's like...
It's only to wait a few days. Then we find it out
It's
for
just
sure.
occupying brain cells, huh?
Yeah, but it's like the alternative
Have
if they
enough
would say
which
no.
you don't use.
Huh?
You have enough brain cells which you don't use. You can just occupy a few more.
But who knows for what they are needed?
To be occupied, they're waiting to be occupied.
Maybe
You know?
they're waiting for something that we don't understand at the moment.
Like what?
I don't know, maybe it's anyway one reason why we have so many brain cells which we don't use.
You need to occupy them.
Normally everything is for one reason in nature, I think. So if you have a monster brain and you only use little parts, or maybe it's one reason for the rest.
I mean, it's been growing from 1984, the interest to look. But they was afraid to look.
Fleurvilla.
But now, the years, I think they was afraid to look first. But now they've been getting anyway some understanding in these years that better to look now anyway, and some can hope that it's not there and some can hope that it's there. It's anyway one word of Knut Rea Bokström in a way now coming on 84 story up again. Because I come back to tell this story in 1984.
Yeah, we can't sneak around that story.
So I
That's-
think they have to look if it's there or not. And I think there we are at the moment. But it could have been already looked in come Monday, everything was arranged. And now they want to have all the papers or rather thing or to present it for the board Friday. So the board, then you have been asking the board for what material is existing. So something is going on anyway. For sure. Which is 16 years of story behind.
No, I mean in 90 they get big protest in Kayani. The people was making one demonstration in the town of Kayani because they were shouting to the Museumviraston. So if they now say again no, what do you think happens?
But why do you think that they say no now?
I don't think they say no. That
in
is
brain we
why.
have also now one no and yes.
Of course.
I think they are slowly they've been asking material, they've been getting it today and they have the meeting
On Friday.
about it on Friday.
And then they decide.
But anyway, a meeting and they get this Koponen and Polari paper and find out that it's one metal object there.
Mm.
That they know.
Mm.
Maybe somebody hoping that it was Rusty bicycle, and somebody hoping that Knut Rea was okay.
No, but it's always the same thing, you know, you get always to this point where, yeah, we have to wait for the decision. And usually the decision has not been so positive in our favor, you know, so for that way you must also take it with reservation. But it doesn't mean that because they say no, it stopped the whole thing.
With 1984, it was nobody had heard about such a thing, so they of course had to take it with reservation. And they were such surprised at many more that there was really on 4.5 meter one metal object.
Mm.
And many people have been reading the information without example by Havanainen's book and discussing it and asking that why can't they now have a look?
Mm.
If they are so sure that it's not there.
Mm.
Pico Castle built first in 1500.
No, it's not a question of that. We'll find it out by the beginning of next week, you know, whenever, and then we see how it goes and what to do. You know.
But anyway, they gave basically this, they are in contact with this archaeologist from Norway, which they gave him already, they talked with him, they gave him basically already to understand, yeah, not now, but later when you come back from Colombia or wherever he is. I mean, they're also interested in something. That's how it feels.
Of course they're interested. And the public is interested also, and we are interested, and everybody is interested. So why shouldn't they do it? And it makes no sense. They must be extremely stupid.
Yeah, you never know. They can also say we don't do it. You know, we wait 5 years.
Well,
Yeah, we see that. No, I have no idea.
They always been saying that they do it in case they are having some other restoration there, and now they've been creating it by themselves. And it's been informed for the Norwegian that it has been starting that the Norwegian archaeologue should come over to Finland. I think there is already one cooperation between Norway and Museovirasto, but now when it comes to fact, they took one new undertag. Otherwise it should have been already happened Monday, but just maybe a little bit too fast. Maybe the board is discussing it Friday and make the next discussion the next Friday and like that.
Of course it has to go through the board because Pekka Kerki, he doesn't want to be the one who alone decides which is.
But the question is the board has been asking Pekka Kärki what Pekka Kärki is doing is now from all understanding for to try to see how the board is understanding it. We don't know in what direction it has gone.
No idea.
Only that museum has been bombed by years. And why don't you look? Because it's one information there that it should be there, so why don't you say that if it's there or not?
Let's see how it goes.
That time that they have some board Friday.
Here we find it out next Friday or next week.
But the word good they've been putting there by themselves. Or it come from outside.
Sure?
100% sure.
Yeah.
I can only say it's all Bockenballer. It's our name on Booklet. But it was correct in their information.
The information that was correct. So they're putting it there by
Because there's
themselves.
3 gold book.
Hey, they have to dig much here in Uven.
So why 3?
I don't know why there are 3. There are 3. Story about the 3 golden book from 1984. It's rolling up in the board Friday in Finland. Guldbocken Balder from Kajani Slott.
He's lying there.
There are 3 good books. One of the 3 good books is there in the lead box. So there was correction in it. At the same time, the media has been concentrating on the Europa. It was created scandal of dancing in the forest, ghosts are serving tea, and we are smoking all night and dancing up to the morning. Yeah.
Nej. Det var bara så.
Boom for Guldbocken Balder.
Nej. Boom.
Bom från Guldbocken Balder. Med Lemminkäisen tempel. Solbocken Balders tempel.
Cool.
You have to go?
You have to go.
Any message for Udo and Lutz back in Berlin?
Home for Udo in Berlin. I know he has been following and informing, so I think he has the right to do it. If he's unsure.
Any message for 202?
It was a nice club to visit. And many times thinking about his bunking bench. That to take the whole row should have been many shots.
Yeah. Super. Allt super. Oh, yeah, for
You have your exemplar of Guldbockenboulder with you to hold.
I have my exemplar in my game. It's here. Yeah, see you there.
Yeah. A little bit about.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm already able to draw.